And we're live. Alright, I'm here with France Blue. I'm your host,
Yo,
the Fun Toothy Deer. And today we're going to be doing Survivor Series predictions and matchups. Um, see, the first card right here is the DWF Overdrive Championship. It's Jameis and Just R. Who's your favorite to win this one?
I believe Jay because okay, one, this is a mid card title, and two, hold on, I'm gonna go real Masquerade King real quick and saying if he's already got the reign, that he's gonna stay the reign. If
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you. And I haven't seen that much of Just R. Um, When was his last appearance in a show? I think it was on Breakout. I don't know if he even fought. I haven't seen much of him. But Jameis has been, putting himself out there. He's kind of, yeah, he's been there. He was at SmackDown. He was at the shows before. And I think this is one of the more underrated cards going in. I think it's the perfect way to start out the pay per view.
No, I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I disagree. I think the match that should start the show is Violet versus Brian because I want to see a, a fucking squash match. I want to see a burial match. I want to see Violet bury the shit out of Brian.
That's the thing about Violent and Nakamura. Is the next fight starting actually? So it's right after the DWF
Yeah,
Overdrive. We have Nakamura and Violent Fierce. Now, Nakamura in the chat has been going on endlessly
he's
about
been
how
going
he's been
fucking off.
carrying the entire all the promos because Violent Fierce is never showing up to the shows, right?
Oh really?
Yeah, no, not once. But the thing about Violent is the few times I do see him, it's normally in like the FCA. He's got the fundamentals on him, and Nakamura has more or less been a mid carder his entire career.
Well, here's the thing. I have history from with Brian or Nakamura way before DWF, and I'll tell you this: Nakamura has definitely grown as a character and as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and and so yes, it kind of does for me. Like I know these two pretty well. Um, from what I know with their skills, I believe that Violet is going to win. But if Brian skills have developed as much of his personality has, then I believe he has a good chance. That's
Yeah,
just being me nice.
I agree. Nakamura, I've known this guy for a while, at least a year. And, when I was starting out, fresh and young, he was like a prospect around that area. And he was always, kind of just muddying the waters, fighting for titles like the hardcore. He's had a few bouts for the United States Championship. I don't know if he's won it. He doesn't really say. But the thing about Nakamura is that he's grown so much over this small period of time. So while he's probably at a disadvantage against someone like Violent, who has, all his fundamentals set and, he's poised to defend his title, Nakamura, he's grown a lot way, and I think he can contend with Violent. So it's just not, a burial fest.
Yeah, actually, uh, pretty ironic with what I said in the beginning. I think it's probably going to be the closest match of the card.
Yeah, probably. Because neither two are exceptional. If what I want to see out of both of these fighters is like, use a little more
Yeah,
unorthodox,
yeah, they're
They
not
have very
perfect.
predictable patterns. Like if you just go into like a sparring ring with them, you'll see Nakamura, more or less, he'll just use this left right motion, and then he'll try to lean in and get that little reach on you. And you can kind of read it. And Violent is he's more aggressive, and that's why I give him the advantage here, because he knows how to get in there, weasel his clean in, and then just take out his opponent. But more footwork out of both of these two could go a long way in
Yeah.
improving their careers.
From my experience, I personally don't use the same strategy, but for me, strategy has never been the main focus. It should
No,
be the timing of the hits. It should be where you hit the
yeah,
key.
because The only reason you'll want a strategy is so you know how to work yourself way in there. Every time I go to the gym, I'm just training on how my footwork is, how I'm gonna actually get in there, and at what point do I double tap, to get my clean to hit the other person. That's the entire name of the game. But with that being said, we'll move on to our next match. It's a triple threat match for the Euro title. Zayn Styles, Hell CVI, and Matt Casey. Now,
Okay, so you have this man ZJ
yeah.
who lost. Who let me remind you all, he lost so bad against Darks at PXA Takeover. He legit had to leave mid. He quit mid match because how bad he was losing. I am not
Yeah.
joking.
And
It was so bad. TTB thought it was scripted.
yeah. And the thing with this is like this isn't just a one-on-one, I haven't seen too much of Zayn at SmackDown. As you said, last time I saw him was at PXC and he got blasted.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't against someone, who's like super impressive either. It's fucking dark. Also, like Nakamura, been a mid carder for like most of his career. And not only is it,
Look, wait. Dark isn't just Dark. He is that specific biker guy.
yeah, the specific biker guy, but like more or less, he's not too exceptional. And it's the European
It's exceptional
Championship, so
for
you
ladies.
never, yeah. It's never been like a title that like too many people with too much talent have really sought after. But this time I feel like it's a little different because not only, like I said, not a one-on-one, it's a triple threat, and he has two serious opponents here. He has Cell CVI and Matt Casey.
you
Who's
know,
your favorite to
I
win?
have seen much of Hell CVI. I've seen both Zayn and Matt wrestle, and I'll
Hmm.
say I think that Matt will get the upset. But if it came down to it, I think because of how much of a heel and how actually smart Zayn is winning a match, surprisingly, for me to say, I think he's probably going to slither his way to a victory
Uh
again.
huh. And the thing is, with these triple threats, when you're the champion, you have a
Yeah.
target on your back. And even when, like, the referee's going to say no teaming, like, in their minds, hey, this guy is the champion. If we don't let him get a fall, there will be a new champion. So it's always just a
Yes.
competition between the two contenders.
Yes, but the problem is that was that yes, that's always what people say, but I personally don't believe that's the thing because if that was the case, then matches would be the way they would be because you got to have this mindset. Well, if the champion wins or if the other guy wins, yeah, there's a new champion, but he's got his rematch clause. So what's the
Yeah.
point
And
of
that's
just
the thing. The
getting him
rematch
off?
clause is always dangerous. And people don't really think about that ahead of time. They're thinking about the match that is in the now. But you have to think with a triple threat match, would you give two rematch clauses to those two losers? And here's the
As someone
thing.
with experience with like rematch clause being used for
Yeah,
the majority of the time, it is not fun. You
it is
don't want.
not fun. Careers have been made off the rematch clause. Zakin, half of his titles, like at least 10 of them, have been straight off rematch
My
clauses.
fucking rivalry with fuck, what's his name? King Jason was literally, but all it was rematch clause.
Yeah, rematch clause after rematch clause. That can be, a dangerous thing if you're a champion. And on one hand, you don't want like a
And as
champion
a
who has no
character,
presence, but at the same time, they don't want to come to the show right after and lose their title. But on the subject here, Hell CVI. I was in the gym of tragedy. Worst gym ever, right?
yeah.
But I was there with Hell CVI, and we had a first to 10, and then I dared him to do a first to 11. So I had a first to 11 with Hell CVI. We went to the private rings, and I beat him 11-4. So retired Scotty beat Hell CVI 11-4 at the gym of tragedy. And what I took away from that fight was he has his fundamentals down, like Nakamura. Between the two, I think he has a heavier swing than Nakamura. If this was a one-on-one matchup just against Zayn, I would give him the edge because he has a he has pretty powerful strikes. If he weasels in there, he gets you. But my favorite to win this match, it has to be Matt Casey because I've seen so much out of this
Yeah,
guy in like the last three shows.
Matt
He
Casey, without a doubt, has the most skill
Yeah,
in
he has the
this.
most skill and the most talent here. The only thing that doesn't, move the needle so much so where I can, 100% guarantee that Matt Casey will win is the fact that he's up against two opponents. And Zayn's smart, he's in a triple threat. So this could work to his advantage. It could work to Hell's advantage because, again, Hell has like one powerful right arm, using that clean.
We're wrestling wise. I think so far we've got two pretty good matches
Yeah.
for pay per view.
We
I'm not
got
counting the beginning match.
Yeah, the beginning match could be a burial, or it could be one of the closest matches. You can never tell with the the bottom cards. It's normally when you keep going up. With that being
Okay,
said, DWF Tag Team Championships. Now we have
I
Undercry.
I want you to tell me what the fuck is Undercry. I've never heard of Undercry before.
I recently rejoined, and a lot has changed since I've been gone. With that being said, I'm assuming that Undercry is supposed to be like the merging of the two names, which is just Undernickel and God, what's his name? Is it Dylan RK? Is that him? Let me check.
No
Uh,
idea.
yeah, no, his name was like Cry earlier.
If it
It's
has
the merging of
Undernickel,
those two names,
if it has Undernickel in it, I don't think they'll.
Dylan
It's just
RK.
that tag
Yep,
team.
it's Dylan RK. So this is a team of Dylan RK and Undernickel. Now, these guys are very capable, and together I feel that could make them a little dangerous. And I don't want to count out whoever their opponent is, but the fact that, it's probably going to be an open challenge, you have the three question marks here. That means literally any two people can come out at any time and take them on. And to me, I feel the only tag team right now, that's like actively row wrestling and, could actually defeat them would be Fated Ascension. Apart from that, if
No, but
it's anyone else that goes for the DWF Tag Team Championships, I'm going to give Undercry the advantage here.
we should just fucking team up. Be like, hey, yo,
We
let's.
do a surprise team up, old Scotty
Yeah.
Crippen and France Blue against Undercry. All right, we're going to skip over that match. It's a little one-sided. DWF Undisputed Championship
We don't
Elimination
even know
Chamber.
they're fucking facing.
Now this is a pretty heavy. This is pretty stacked here. You have the
Are they in
champion
order?
Justice. Yeah. I think they're in order.
Yeah, I think so. Because
From top
Justice
to
is
bottom,
in
they're in
front.
order. Yeah. The DWF Undisputed Championship. It's an elimination chamber. Okay, the champion Justice versus Water Hardy versus Elias versus Buigi and Kenny. Now
There's
I can
four
tell you
big
who
names in
can't
there.
win right off the bat, and it's not going to be Buigi.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like I
definitely
know
not.
every name of these, but it's like the fucking Luigi.
Yeah, I can also
Um,
tell you who won't win would be
I
Kenny.
believe Kenny.
Kenny and
Yeah,
Buigi, I think we can rule out. And the thing about when you Buigi's next to a jobber, with
yeah.
Kenny is this is one of the oldest fighters like of all time in
Really?
DWF. Without a doubt, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame if he isn't already. But the thing is, he's been pressing so hard for like the Immortal Championship. He wants all these major championships, but the guy needs to retire at this point. Cause some of these old heads like myself, we can adapt to the game. But Kenny's like 12 years old, and he's still fighting very much the
He's
same.
12 years old.
He has to be. That's my prediction. He's at least 12 years old. But
And how old do you think he was when he started?
dude, he had to be like 8.
Oh my
Yeah, he
god.
had to be 8.
I wish I was that young when I started. Well, not really, because
Oh
if
no,
I
'cause,
started that young, I would be stupid. I would literally be the fucking. I would be the Kano of DWF if I was that.
well, here's the thing. Back then, you had a very experimental time. These old heads, back
Yeah.
in 2011, You know what? The term clean, when you fight with the clean, it originated from the fact that in the very old days, very experimental time when you fight out in the open with just a ring, you didn't have just a clean. That was like your fighting style. So you would have a clean tool, a dirty tool, a speed tool, a power tool, a heavy tool. All these
Oh
tools,
shit, I've
right?
seen that
A
before.
signature tool and a finisher tool. And those were like
Ooh.
these giant, ginormous cleans the size of your character. And back then it was a very experimental time. I don't think DWF actually did that. But Kenny is from this era where people didn't even fight with shift lock. And he's aged terribly with the times, and that's why I'm easily ruling him out alongside with Buiji. So
Well,
that
here's the thing. This is something that like a lot of people will probably throw away immediately. My theory is that you don't need to swing to do well, and actually to compete with people
mm,
who swing very well,
you need
because of course
timing. There's a
yeah,
lot
you
of
just
things
need
that can
timing.
go into it. Most definitely. Because with me, I time my strikes, and if I time it right, I get the win. And sometimes I just I have to go wild.
Look, I don't swing anymore because I don't need it. Uh because I still gain victories even though I don't swing. In fact, I've just never mind. That's from a different friend. Let's keep it relevant, okay?
Yeah, all
But
right.
yeah, but like honestly, I think swinging is going to get out of style soon.
Yeah, it's kind of a dying art in some way with swinging, because you have these guys who, you still have guys who spin heavily,
Yeah,
but like at this point, you kind of have to control how hard you spin, because you can get extra damage from the swing and the
yeah.
spin, but it's a
That's what I've
huge
always been
gamble.
preaching. Say, get some control.
Yeah,
And
because
you
if
over
you,
here, people doing
I'll go
fucking
in the gym of
36
tragedy, and there'll just these people. They're swinging. They're clean. They'll move their mouse like
fucking
they'll be
Beyblade. Let it
throwing their
rip.
mouse around. Yeah, and they'll just be missing. Right, and I just have to step in, and I just have to lunge, and they're pretty much throwing their body into my clean. With that being said, God, we've been
Hey,
talking
if it,
about
hey,
everything else.
if they just gonna let themselves lose, just let it happen. Can't
Yeah, if they
help
want to
stupid.
lose, then let it happen. With that being said, Elias, Water Hardy, and Justice, who's your favorite to win out of these three?
Oh, it's tough. I've been friends with like all three of these
Yeah,
guys.
I've been
Mainly,
watching all three closely, and Elias is kind of a master troll at this point. We'll just go in the DWF gym, right? And I'll be turning the corner, and he just comes out and rats me.
fucking
Yeah,
honestly, for me, cause that's Broken Alliance, right?
yeah, that is Broken Elias and Water
I
Hardy.
honestly do say it's gonna come down to like in the beginning, it's going to be Justice and Water, and they're one of the and like since I believe those two are gonna start, I believe that one of those two are going to be the first one out, so it's going to be a
Yeah,
quick game changer. So I want to say Water. That's who
yeah.
I want to say,
And the
but
thing about Water is, we're talking about, guys who can spin and how it's a
yeah,
dying art form. He can still do it. He has one powerful swing. And, like, if you get caught in that swing, dude, he can one shot you like nobody's business. The one thing he doesn't have is, footwork. He doesn't really do much unorthodox movements that, can kind of throw someone off balance and put them into that swing.
well, here's the thing for like I guess I guess for people like us, we are that orthodox because we don't have that much of a one hitter quitter thing,
Yeah.
but we try to make sure we can get like we can slither our health
Yeah, we
down and
have to
get that victory.
slither the health down over time because, if I run in and I try to swing, I
But
get
hey, it
whacked.
works.
It works for me,
It works.
definitely. It's been working for a long while. Um, I don't want to count out either of these three right here because Justice
Yeah.
has been on a phenomenal streak. Just seeing him in the gym, the way he can like carry himself, the
And
way he,
Broken Alliance is still relevant.
yeah, the way
Goddamn
he
it.
slaps everyone around. The thing with Elias is, I think, determined by how the elimination chamber actually works. If he's up there against multiple opponents, I don't think he'll have as much of a chance to win as if if he was up against, just Justice or just Water. Because I saw him in a triple threat match last SmackDown. I hosted that with Watermelon himself. And we put him up against, like, I think Austin and some other guy. Matt Casey. Yeah, Matt Casey and Austin Hurricane. And he didn't get a single fall. They quickly singled him out, and he was quickly out of the game. He was kind of just, timid. So I'm gonna count Elias out on that one. So that just kind of leaves
Yeah.
me with Water Hardy and Justice, and this comes down to if Justice can weasel his clean into Water Hardy's, just torso and beat him out over time. Because it's a first to one fall, right?
Yeah.
The elimination
Actually, I don't
chamber.
actually. Oh, I don't know. It might
That's
be.
how I did it when I
Uh,
defended my title in the elimination
yeah,
chamber.
but
It
I
was
think
just
I've
first to
heard that
one.
I think I've heard that it was like, is there going to be two or three? I don't.
I mean, his
If it's
chances, their
first to
chances
one,
go
I
up
don't know. It's gonna
definitely if
be,
it's up to first to two. I'm gonna
if
have to
it's
go with Justice.
okay.
Okay.
Uh, so far we've agreed with everything except for that match.
Yeah.
Now with
But
the
that just
grudge.
really comes down to how the game's
Oh,
actually gonna play, because I feel like it can go either way. And if
yeah,
either Buigi or Kenny wins it, I'm gonna have to eat my own shit on that one.
yeah.
This would be humiliating if they win.
I'm gonna just throw myself down.
Yeah, gonna have to throw myself down the biggest hole I can find. Next match, we have a grudge match: Mob Punk and Corey Casada.
I think. Okay. To put this out, I think this is more of a story match and it's going to be a clean match, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
believe that they're going to try their best to go for a good story. Because knowing Mob, he's actually pretty good in getting keeping a character and
Hmm.
story correct. Corey, on the other hand, he's a clean fighter without a doubt. But I think Mob might be trying to show him the ropes with cleans and all that. I mean, with story and all that.
Yeah.
But you never know. So like, you can't just like say, "Oh, it's just gonna be scripted." I mean, like, honestly, I thought OMG Balor and Under Nickel was going to be a clean match, but nope, that was scripted. Take a shot at you guys, fucking. I and I will tell you this to Mob is that if this is scripted, be careful because I have done scripted matches. OMG has done scripted matches. It's honestly like it's such bad luck. I think it's only in DWF where like in scripted matches the big guy always finds a way to fucking make the jobber look good, and then after the rivalry he becomes a jobber again.
Yeah,
I
it's the strange thing about DWF.
it's yeah, and
These
so
like
like
these matches, they kind of sometimes seem fake, and there's so like a lack of authenticity. Looking past that, Mob is a pretty solid fighter, but I've known Corey for much longer, and this guy's been resourceful for as long as I've seen him fight. He's progressed very well in his career. He's in a co-main event, so that's pretty
yeah,
impressive. And yeah, as you said, he's a pure clean fighter. And the only
honestly
purpose
like
I think this match may have is like, furthering a storyline so it can be featured at some other pay per view. I'm gonna
yeah.
give it to Corey Casada simply from a skills standpoint.
Yeah, like I think with clean wise and all that, I think Corey's gonna win. But when it really comes to being a
Yeah.
row wrestler, I
When
give
it
to
comes to
Mob
the
either way.
entertainment,
From either Victor, I still think Mob will still be the better row wrestler, not the
yeah.
best clean wrestler.
Because from a like main event standpoint, from these high carders, the moment you step into like the high card, and once you
Mob is
win
a
a
high
title,
carder.
right?
He is, yeah, without a doubt, he's a high carder
Yeah, once you step
in the
into that
ring
high
and the
card, and I remember this when I was like a high card, very few high carders get by solely on their skill alone. At some point, you have to settle down. You have to do a pay per view. You have to do like these promos. You have to start learning how to build a story. And a lot of these young guys don't do that too often. And I think that's, if this match, serves as like a standpoint from others to learn from, that could be good for business.
and I think that's why it's still one of the favorites from the quote unquote new era.
Yeah. With that being said, Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
well,
that's not the
actually, we haven't even
co-main.
decided who we really think is going to win. We just basically just fucking we just break down their fucking characters
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
themselves.
But like my
Uh,
favorite to win, simply from just a skill standpoint, from what I've seen, it's gonna be Corey. With that being
I want
said,
I want
DWF.
Mob to win
Like I,
for
on one hand, yeah, you kind of want Mob to win, just because he's such a great guy, right? He threatened to ban me at one point, so he has a lot of character.
he should have been
Yeah,
banned at
yeah.
one point.
I don't even remember what I said. I broke in and then I like interrupted the promo, and he got mad. Yeah, he banned me temporarily. The whole chat was just like free Scotty, free Scotty, free Scotty. He just let me off with a warning. DWF World Heavyweight Championship: Cole Rollins versus Diego Parker. Who's your favorite to
Cole
win?
is a Cole, right?
Yeah, Cole.
Another fucking Cole. I personally, I just want Diego to win because I'm tired of Cole. I've never liked him, even from the beginning. I don't think I've ever talked to him in a call, which is weird. Like this is one of the things I'm afraid of a Fated Ascension. I love Insanity. I love Insanity Prison. I love Austin Hurricane
Yeah.
and all of them. But I'm afraid that I'm gonna get in a call and they're gonna turn out to be another fucking duck.
Another Duck Purdue. I don't think, especially in the case of Insanity Prison and Austin Hurricane, I'm going to say this right now. Austin Hurricane is my favorite PXT prospect. These guys don't really seem like Duck. The thing with Duck is this is a guy who kind of,
Yeah,
lucked out.
but like
He just got a
yes, but
few lucky falls, and he did that like 5 times. So he got that PXT
yeah.
championship. And when he actually lost that PXT championship, he got into the main roster, and no one's going to sugarcoat anything for you there. You hit
Yes,
the
but
big
like
leagues, and people just beat him down so hard.
yes, but like with their gimmick and all that, I think I at least want to expect someone over 13
Yeah.
and all that, and like because the sanity beforehand, because I was actually I was helping out with PXC. I was actually even helping them with characters and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they sound pretty well aged, and
Yeah.
I would be so disappointed in myself
Like if I just
if I go
enter
to
a
call and they're
call and
fucking
both of them
squeakers.
squeak like LIS does,
And
dude,
then
it would be game
then they're
over.
fucking like screaming on the top of their lungs. I'd be like, I don't know about this.
I was like, are you sure this is the same two guys that are dominating PXT right now?
Yeah, Faded Ascension sounds like more like false hope.
Yeah. With this matchup right here, the World Heavyweight Championship, I haven't seen too much from Cole Rollins, and I know he's a pretty big name in DWF. Come recent
Still don't
times,
like him.
they both
Still
have
don't like him.
they both have a lot of legitimacy here, without a doubt. But I think Diego is this pretty freaking skilled guy. I wouldn't count him out
Yeah,
of it.
like Diego, I think already beat him. If I'm
Yeah.
correct.
So I'm
For
calling
the
that
title, so
Diego
this is
Parker will, tough out, and he'll edge over Cole Rollins, and probably maybe a close matchup. I mean, it could become like an absolute job in like Cole Rollins, and which would be
actually
unfortunate because this is a pretty big fight. You want to see them
yeah.
really
Actually,
go at it.
I want Diego to win, but I want Diego to win this
But I want him
rivalry
to show that he can
because
cement
when
his
he wins,
legacy.
no, I meant like when he wins, Cole's gonna have a rematch clause. Actually, no,
Yeah.
he's champion. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm fucking stupid. When did Diego get his title back? Well, hold on a horse minute.
Hold on
Wait
a
a
horse
minute.
minute.
Wait. When did this happen? I don't remember. I thought Diego lost his title.
No, I don't think so.
I guess he did a rematch clause in a show like Cole did. What the fuck? I swear he lost his.
I mean, this pay-per-view match card was made last. Yeah, it was made at the beginning of the month. So if that was any time within the past 4 weeks, then maybe that changed hands a little. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think this match, when it's slated this early, you can't really change that around. It's kind of set in stone. So you have this, and if I recall vividly, I don't know if as a champion, you don't want to come the next show because the guy with the rematch clause is hunting you down. I remember Corey Casada saying if he would beat Mob Punk, he was gonna go on to win the DWF World Heavyweight Championship and then challenge me. So I don't know about that. But as far as this match is concerned, I have Diego Parker as my favorite to win it.
Yeah.
With that being
Um,
said, we move on to the main event, which is DWF
hey,
versus ECW.
probably the most is actually the most important match. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be so pissed if we fucking lose.
yeah, we don't on our end we don't want to lose, but we have to
Yeah,
look at
this is
these
like.
things face value.
But
We have
here's
to
what
figure
I
out who's on
think
the
is
team
like a huge
first.
disadvantage for us is that Hawkins is being too clean, while I believe Zayn's probably just gonna be like picking whoever he wants.
Yeah,
Hawkins is choosing anyone who isn't booked for the pay per view, and that's exactly what happened with the new era in with like the new era versus old era. In my opinion, I think the new era should have won and not have lost because there were so many more good people
yeah.
from the
There's a
new
lot
era,
of talent, and
but he
Hawkins kind
couldn't
of picking
choose
out who's.
because most of the new eras were champions. Like I was supposed to be in it, but since I was in a rivalry with Jason at the time, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and look, dude, it's the All Star game right here. You have to pick All Stars. Like, could you
Yeah.
imagine if the NBA hosted the All Star game, except instead of
Imagine,
LeBron James,
imagine the
Giannis, and
dream team
Steph?
without the fucking the best in the
Yeah,
NBA.
because
That's
like,
exactly what I'm.
imagine having this year's All Star game without Giannis and LeBron, and instead of those two as team captains, you had like DJ Augustine and just Zaza Pachulia. It's not the same. And that comes down to like who's actually on this team. We have to look at this from face value and accept it
Yeah.
what it is. We have
One
the two
person that
hard
I
hitters, definitely. We have OMG Balor and we have Zeting.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you right here. I don't think Zoo should be in this because I don't think he's skilled enough for this. Yes, he's big in DWF, but he isn't going to be skilled enough. OMG,
See, the problem
however,
with
yes,
being big in
he's always been.
DWF, in the case of Zeus, and if we just compare Zeus to OMG Balor, the
And don't
two are
forget, he's
big.
rusty as shit.
Yeah, the two are big for different reasons, right? OMG Balor
Yeah,
has been big, has been consecutively winning. He's, chasing all
yeah.
these big
OMG
titles.
Balor
He's
is literally
always
the
been doing
opposite
that.
of him.
And
OMG Balor
Zeus
doesn't know
is
how to do.
big by name because he has a legacy behind him, but he just
Yeah,
recently came back solely for this, solely for just the name. At this point, I think this match, it's less for bragging rights. I mean, for
I
ECW,
know that.
if
Yeah,
they
this is
win,
not for bragging rights. This is gonna be full.
for ECW, it's all about bragging rights. But for DWF, I feel like it's just promotional. Cause apart from Zutas and OMG Balor, I don't.
Well, there's been some like there's something in there's like a fucking whoever. I think there was word. Don't quote me on this, but I've heard that like the loser, the winner, basically owns that group.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't believe that because we have to look. Now we have to delve into Hawks in here. He's not the guy to do that. You have to understand that he's far too mature. He's far too old. He doesn't care about that little drama crap. This is Hawkson we're talking about. He stuck it out for DWF for as long as we can remember. And when he loses to Zayn, all that stuff that he betted
Yes,
on,
but
he's
like
not going to follow
honest,
through with it.
yes, but you also got to think this like Hawk. Yes, Hawk. Here's the thing. Here's the main point. Hawkson has been doing this for so long.
So
How do you
long.
like? What do you think? What do you think that maybe Hawkins is getting a little bit tired? Maybe he wants to give it to someone else, but he wants to do it in a story. Like maybe this is all on purpose. Maybe Hawkins just doesn't want to. Maybe he's tired of hosting and he's just going to give it to Zane.
I mean, the thing about that is, I don't think Hawkson, if he was going to give it up, would give it to Zayn of all people. You have to understand, Zayn is the guy who listens to NF with a shitty Snapchat filter over his face. Um,
And
what
of
I
how many
think
times
this
he's been fucking.
is once, because I hate to say this, but I think ECW is going to win this match. And that's as much as that's going to piss me off. They have a huge talent pool right now. They've got guys like Don
Well,
Morrison on their side, and they're like fucking crazy.
well, let me tell you this. Um, in my opinion, I think DWF is going to win, but very, very slithery. It's going to be a
Yeah,
very close match.
we're gonna have to
But I
really
think,
pull out a
but I
lot of stops
honestly,
to do that.
I wish he chose. I wish he chose more kind of skilled people in this
Yeah,
era instead of just having like, oh, because they are champions or having matches. I'm not going to choose
and
that.
that's why I'm
I
giving
believe. that we could have secured a victory if he didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm giving this to ECW at least the advantage. Again, I can't call these matches. I can only pick
Yeah,
favorites. But ECW, Zayn's not being stupid with this. He's taking, guys he knows are like not even fucking playing around. He's got Zully, he's got Don Morrison. These guys are fucking killers in the ring.
yeah. Who is it actually? Who are all the people in the ECW? I've never heard who's in the ECW.
I haven't even checked, but I know that Zully and like Don Morrison should be in there for like
Like
at
for
least a
me,
fact, because those guys are fucking killers already. I say
didn't I
that.
see like Darks was in the DWF team?
I don't know, but the thing is, we're dealing with a lot of old, washed up legends. So it's really boiling down to, can OMG Balor carry DWF to a victory?
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
you
like, I
also
don't
have the
want to.
current Immortal Champion. He's in there. So
I don't think he is.
as
They
much
didn't
as
call him
not
out, did
many
he?
people, no, they did. He said that's why he's not having a match. That's why he's not having a match in the pay per view. I even
Yeah.
talked with him. I talked to him the day he decided he was going to leave but come back. Is that he was going to be in that match
Yeah.
with that title?
Devi's been pretty solid, though. I can say that for sure. He cemented his legacy. He defended his championship against Insanity Prison. He had an open challenge. He had Insanity come over from the barricades, and then he beat him 3-1 on his played his own game and then beat him. So we have Devi and then we have OMG Balor, but everyone else is kind of old. They're kind of washed. They kind of they're just a name. And it's really just, those two, when you have to accept it at face value and like the huge talent pool ECW is going to pull out, it's going to be kind of ridiculous in comparison. So I'm going to give the slight edge to ECW simply because of that talent pool. With that being said, I want to touch up on one last subject, which is going to be the DWF Immortal Championship. Now, we already said Devi's not going to defend his title at the pay per view. We have that confirmed and all that. He
Yeah.
defended it like yesterday. So it comes down to the future here and potential candidates for the line. Because everyone wants a piece of Devi in one way or another. And in my opinion, who I want, as a favorite to go after that title is Mulatan Dreams.
I want to go after that. Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck. I was supposed to say I want to go after the title. I was
Yeah,
like, oh shit.
everyone wants to go
That's
after him. I want a piece of Devi as well. Everyone wants a piece of Devi. People want to see people go at Devi. But
the only problem I have with Mullah is that like, yes, Mullah had a tough time. In fact, I actually recorded it, sent it to Hawkins. He still hasn't uploaded because he's lazy. I'm just kidding. But like the problem I have with Devi is like just like I meant just Moolah. It's just that, like, yes, that was amazing. He got amazing pop and all that. But immediately going for the Immortal Championship, like, he at least give him, personally, like, a mid card title. Because that way, he I'm not going to crap on him, but he can at least have more of an actual, like, fighting chance. Because all we're getting at is just is that he had the disease and now he's good. That's not yes, it's nice and all, and um, I truly do love the idea that he's better now. But it's just you can't push someone to like that major title, especially someone who beat the shit out of OMG. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's really a tough choice, and there's not too many people that are ever slated for the Immortal Championship at any given time. This is a very coveted title, and it always has been. And, Devi has a few blemishes on his record. Alex Tatum's, for one, will call him out on exploiting all the time. Everyone will never, like, every time DWF gets exploited, people always look at Devi, and Devi's just like, I didn't exploit. He's had, like, a pretty tough time with that. And I think, and why I'm saying he should face Mulatin Vante is because if he can beat Mulatin, then he can, cement his reign as like a legitimate champion in everyone's eyes, regardless of heel or face and all of that. And if Mulatin wins, then that's, you have a new face at the company that everyone can get behind. and it's
Yeah,
less.
that's not the easiest thing ever,
Yeah,
because
it's not, and it's a pretty tough decision to make. This is less and less my like wanting to see the two highest skilled fighters, and more so just seeing,
who
two
can really be
very
the face?
entertaining fighters.
Yeah, like I believe Mula just can't before his disease. He recently came to the main roster because he was in PXT. Um, I've sparred with him, and as much as he's being pushed as a face, he's pretty he's in the bit of the toxic side when he loses.
Yeah,
Uh, so that's also something I'm worried about, because you can't have someone like that to be a face of a company, because if that's true, that's not going to bring a lot of good people. Like if you okay, let's say I'm gonna pick someone from ECW. If you have Zully, everyone
yeah.
knows Zully. He
Everyone
has
knows
huge
Zoe.
respect, but does he really does he rage when he loses? Not really. Or
No.
in fact, Eddie Slayer, the fucking he is literally the face of the faces when it comes down to it. That man doesn't get angry for shit. And like for him, like that's a good example of what a face should be. It shouldn't really be like it's so like honestly, yes, I love Mula. I think I'm so happy that he's back and all, and he's doing well. But this is just too much of a push for him to start off.
Mm.
Like you just did this, and now you're gonna do this. Just give him a break a bit. Let him start off slow, and then see how he does, and then you can
Yeah.
push him.
And the thing about the Moolah and how he, will react after losing a match, he's in that very young phase of his career. And I recall when I was young, and I like, everyone's like this at some point, when I threw my clean around. This is like indie times, back when I used to fight in like a beer pub. It was like a bar, and you would just fight with the cleans. And whenever I lost, dude, I was pissed as all hell. I was like, dude, I want a rematch right now. I want to face this guy. I'm gonna 3-0 him, and
You see, I used to do that too, but then I found the Lord
at
Savior
some
Jesus
point you
Christ.
kind of you kind of
And
humble
so-
down, and you're just like, okay, I lost. Train again. I'll come back the next time, and I'll take him out.
The
So
reason why I'm so good nowadays, because me and Fred, we were both equally as good, and so like we started to train, we started to learn ideas of what we can do, and like sooner or later we actually became more powerful than I became better than the guy I was so worried about.
yeah,
Like
like when
it
you
was
kind of slow down and the game isn't, so it's like when
yeah,
you
like
don't
I'll
place
say
it
I've
on a
definitely slowed
pedestal,
down.
you get better. And I learned
Uh,
that from my experience.
I think I slowed down, but I'm still
You slow down, but you
because of how
compete at a high level. Because when you're, you have it on the pedestal, you're just like, I need this, I need this. You stop thinking clearly, you're just rushing in, you're throwing your swing around, you're going for these huge hits, you're looking for that right hand. Like in MMA, they say you're looking for the right hand, you're looking for that big hit, but you're not throwing those combos in, you're not grinding down your opponent, and you end up losing the
yeah.
match. It's just like, dude, what happened? I should have knocked him out. And it's just kind of like, you didn't do anything else. But enough on that. We'll see how it goes because ultimately it's down to what Hawkson kind of wants in the Fed.
Yeah,
And
which I don't mind. It's just
I
good.
never really mind because Hawkson, he's great promoter, been my favorite since I joined the company. I except no one else. um, so that was our DWF predictions. I'm your host Scotty Crippen. It's a pleasure to be with you, France Bleu.
It is always a pleasure to be here,
Yeah.
Scotty Crippen.
That concludes the DWF News Podcast. Until next time.